I'm Steve Marion, and welcome to Digital Dialogues with my guest, Cliff Reynolds, the general manager at Hilton Grand Vacations. So, Cliff, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. It's a beautiful day.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that. And it is indeed a beautiful day. So, Cliff, let's go ahead and get right into this. The first thing I'd like to know is where are you from?
Originally from Connecticut,
Okay.
but week after my 18th birthday, went away to Hawaii for college, stayed there for 20 years, then moved to Texas for 2 years, then California for 14, Washington State for 5, and now I'm here in the lovely state of Virginia.
There you go. Wow, we're going to start calling you Cliff San Diego. A little bit of a globe trot there. Cliff, can you share how your career path in hospitality management began and what drew you into this industry?
Very good. In first grade, I wanted to be a baker, and it progressed from there. So by junior high, they had one of those little tests where you do your personality and tells you what careers are great for you. And so on there was hotel management. And so I decided that's what I wanted to do. And went to the University of Hawaii for hotel restaurant management
Nice.
and started at the Hilton Wine Village after I graduated. Of course, during college, I worked as a front desk clerk, a bellman, a barback, a busboy, a server. But when I started in the industry, I started as assistant executive housekeeper, so in charge of the public areas at the Hilton Wine Village. It was 22 acres, 2,500 rooms when I started, and moved up from there. In that same property, I was there for 16 years, so moved up through the rooms division and became the assistant general manager at that property. When I left, it was 2,998 rooms, plus a timeshare building, an apartment building, 80 shops and restaurants, a boat, and a submarine.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. That's a great start to your journey.
It
Um,
was.
what are the key leadership qualities that you believe have contributed to your success in facilities and hospitality management?
Yeah, I think the key leadership is my people skills. And with my team, knowing that each person is an individual. And so being fair and equal doesn't mean being the same to every person. Some people like personal recognition. Some people like it in the meeting. Some people I wrote and sent a letter to their home because their family was what was important. So knowing your team, I think, is most important. And then I like to see action. I like to see projects get done and move on to the next one. And I think that also has helped me in my success.
Nice. Now, as a general manager, what role does facilities management play in creating an exceptional guest experience?
Oh, it's totally important. At a hotel resort, especially where we are right now, I'm in a vacation ownership resort, timeshare.
Mhm.
And guests come and stay for a week or 2 weeks. Some own a specific unit, some have points, but they're there for a while. And you walk into a room, they expect it to be beautiful and expect everything to be working. Some of our rooms haven't been renovated for over 10 years. And so maintenance, we do preventative maintenance and blitzes, going in, checking every room and make sure everything is working. I had a call last week from a guest was bought their food, getting it ready, went to go put it in the oven, wasn't working. And that actually wasn't necessarily maintenance's fault. We had actually done a PM and a blitz, housekeeping cleaned behind it and didn't push the plug in far enough.
Oh,
But a simple fix, but some of them aren't that simple, right? And so a guest comes in, they want to have everything working. Guest goes in, gets ready to take a shower, and there's no hot water. Worst thing, if you're a guest
yeah,
staying somewhere. So facilities touches every single part of the property.
yeah.
And if they don't catch things on a PM or on a blitz or housekeeping doesn't let us know, that hurts the guest experience. And with other things, it could be much more than that, right? With the boiler or other things that if we're not doing the preventive maintenance of the HVAC systems, and it could damage that. And then you're spending thousands of dollars to replace something. So facilities is very important on the property.
Yeah, which actually leads me to another question. And that is, with your success in budgeting, how do you balance cost saving initiatives with maintaining high quality facilities and services?
That's always a challenge.
Mm.
It's looking at what you can do and trying to be creative. So we had a project that was budgeted last year before I started, and it wasn't enough to do that project the way everybody envisioned it. So there was a budget for a pole barn for golf carts, but they only budgeted $22,000. And the area doesn't have any foundation, just dirt. It wasn't flat. And the quotes came in at 40 to do everything. We didn't have the money. So talked with our team, with some other people, searched online. We were able to come up with doing a asphalt milling base and doing a metal carport that's 30 feet by 55 feet to hold the 12 golf carts. Electric outlets at each of the little poles that hold it up, and able to fit that in the $22,000. But it's always a difficult. You're always weighing. We're looking at new ACs. We're doing some renovation. Okay, so you have the new refrigerator coming out, and those machines right now, it's not everywhere that you can get that. But we know since the new one's coming out, the old one's going to go away. Do you go with the cheaper, easier, what you know right now, or do you go with the future? And we were able to go with the future and do that. Sometimes you're not able to. I was at a resort in Texas where we had this stuff for the water for the ground. Mm-hmm. So it would check the moisture of the ground and get the weather information and determine how much watering the grass needs.
Ah, okay.
In California, I worked in a desert area. It was a 150-acre resort, and we had many acres of grass. And I wanted to get that system, but corporate wouldn't let me get it because it was too expensive, even though in the long run, it would have saved us money. So you always have to weigh out what's going to be best.
Yeah. Now, you've worked in highly competitive markets. So how do you approach innovation in facilities management to stay ahead of those competitors?
Yeah, you got to keep your eyes out. But I also get emails from different companies every week of this innovation that they want to, are you willing to, buy this? It's going to help you with saving water. This is going to help you with communicating to your guests. This is going to help you with, it's keeping an eye on the technology and the cost and seeing what you can fit into your budget when. The technology is always going to keep changing. And you want to stay near the front. You don't always want to be the first. Though I've been the first with some things, but with the first, sometimes you have a bigger learning curve than with experience of someone's already gone through it. Some things, the cost, you got to wait until it's been in the industry enough till you can, the prices are down, you can afford it. Mm-hmm. Other things, you want to stay on the top of the curve because it makes sense. And the biggest thing is figuring out financially what makes sense, how fast it's going to pay off. And, some things pay off in lowering expenses. Some pay off in the guest is going to love it and want it. Right now, at home, you can stream your phone. You can stream Netflix. Plus, you have your 100 million channels from your cable. People want the same thing when they go to a hotel or a resort.
Yes, they do.
And so now that's going into all the resorts, right? And hotels, different places. And if you have an older system, a lot of the companies have made new systems, and so they're just upgrading for you. Other companies, you have to get rid of them and put in new. But keeping what the customer wants, weighing that, weighing the cost, and weighing the return is what you got to keep doing. And some things you didn't have in your budget, you find a way to take a little bit here, a little bit there, and get it.
Yeah. Now, I would imagine that in hospitality, team development would be extremely important. And how do you train and empower your team to handle facilities related issues effectively and proactively?
Very good. Training is key when they first start showing. We get some people who come with experience and some people with no experience. But sometimes even the ones with experience, you got to train them out of bad habits to get them into the way you need it to be done. So normally most of our techs go through 2 to 3 weeks of training before they're put on their own. And it's training on some of the things they have to fix, but some of it also is the customer service. They deal with the customers. They need to be able to apologize and say they're sorry. We also give them a toolbox of empowerment that they can apologize with. So give a free amenity from the gift shop, a free activity at the activities desk. They can give points. They can give gift cards. You got to keep them empowered where they know their job isn't just to fix A and B, it's to satisfy the customer.
Yes, very important, customer satisfaction. Now, how do you manage the labor relations piece within facilities teams while ensuring a collaborative and motivated workforce?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is deals with the communication, the meetings. I like to go walk around and talk to people individually, see how they're doing. I think a lot of times we don't take the time enough to just talk and see how's your day going. Ask about the family.
Mhm.
And then what are their ideas? Because a lot of times corporate comes out with something or me or one of the other managers come out with an idea. Sounds great to us. We're not doing the work. The person who's really doing the work has the better ideas.
Yeah,
They know it works best if you do ABC while we're telling them DEF. And we got to listen. You got to listen to your team. I think that's one of the biggest keys is taking the time to listen to their ideas and can we implement it? Some we can, some we can't. But they also need the feedback of why we can't, or we're going to try. Need to put a plan together to do it.
got it. Now, in your experience, what do you see as trends that are shaping the future of facilities management in the hospitality industry?
The biggest is the sustainability, waste, saving on electricity, on water, on gas, all of those different things. Right now, that is a big trend. And there's more and more things coming in place where you can measure things better. Some things you can improve, but everybody's already changed to LEDs. Everybody's already changed a lot of things. So you got to now be a little bit more creative. But I think the technology for measuring and testing a lot of things is going to be more helpful and sustainable. We're looking at changing our cooling tower controller so that way you can bring it up on the computer, all the readings, it can test more different things, and your water is going to be safe. Everybody is focused on the sustainability, and that's really a key because people care about the environment, people care about waste. A lot of businesses don't use solar, but I think that may be pushed more in the future. But people are, electric cars. You need to have electric car stations. We don't have them yet here, but a lot of resorts are putting that in. There's a lot of different technology. Everything uses technology nowadays,
Yes.
but especially the guest focused technology inside the room. Some resorts, you can control it with an app that you get on your phone, and you can control your lights in the hotel room, the AC, turn on the TV, the channel. Guests love those newer things because
Sure.
some do it with their TV at home, but some don't. A lot of people don't have their houses hooked up like that. But you're going to get more and more technology in the guest room that is controlled by the customer. Obviously, there's more robotics at a hotel that I was at in Washington. We had 279 rooms, but we had 3 wings of the hotel, a large lobby, 17,000 square feet of meeting space. I got SoftBank's robotic vacuum. It's 3 feet tall and a square, like a foot and a half square. And you program in the area, and you can do it a couple different ways, either walk it manually or walk the perimeter, and then it'll fill in all the center. And then it knows when it reads that code, that's what it's going to do. And it goes all by itself, does that vacuum in that area. And so we had that, and we saved 1 FTE with installing that instead of having to vacuum all those areas manually.
Yeah.
And it only costs us $650 a month to lease it versus the cost of an employee. So there's going to be more robotics, guest facing, and as well as sustainability and technology.
Yes. Technology. And just out of curiosity, excuse me, Cliff, do you find or have you started using AI within your organization?
Yeah, actually, we had our convention for Hilton Grand Vacations in the beginning of January.
Hmm.
And we're going to be getting Microsoft's Copilot AI for our resorts, and it'll be linked to our corporate database, our corporate servers, and we'll be saving all of our information on the same system. So then anything we need, Copilot can look through our personal stuff as well as Hilton corporate, as well as online. So I'm very excited to get that. We haven't gotten that yet,
Yeah.
but they said by the end of first quarter, we should be getting that.
Yeah, I use Copilot as well. It's a good tool. Yes. And I was almost certain that you probably had at least started the process of integrating AI with your group as well. Now, with your extensive experience, how do you stay motivated and continue to grow professionally in a challenging industry like hospitality?
There's I like challenges. And so I think staying motivated is we do internally, but there's always something you can do to improve. And so it's finding that and seeing it through to fruition. Here, we're working on a lot of different things, doing a lot of projects. In the last hotel I was at, the assistant GM quit right before I started. And they didn't have anyone. We tried to find somebody, couldn't. I had a real strong front desk agent, and I took her, made her supervisor. I trained her, got her moved up to guest service manager, then assistant general manager. And when I left, she took my job. So sometimes it's doing challenges with people, and sometimes it's a lot of things that, a lot of the guest rooms are older. So we're renovating this year 108 rooms. So a lot of units, and they're all 2-bedroom units, but there's a lot that's not. So we're doing extra touch-ups. We're changing out some TVs. We're doing some other things to bring those rooms up to at least a better satisfactory level. And so I'm motivated by seeing our team grow, seeing guests be happy. And sometimes it's seeing the guests change from being upset to you win them over. And sometimes those become the more loyal guests. I had a guest in Hawaii. I don't remember what the problem was, but I dealt with him at the front desk for some issue. A couple of years later, he came back and was checking in, and I just happened to be out at the front desk at that time. And I remembered his name and greeted him, and he was surprised I remembered his name. And then it was like 4 years later, him and his family come back and they ask for me. And it started with a problem. And you build these relationships. So that's what keeps me motivated, is seeing our team grow, seeing them develop. One of the people that I mentored is a GM at a hotel. Another one is vice president of revenue management at a hotel company. And developing your team as well as seeing your happy guests, that keeps me motivated.
Yeah, it sounds like you are building quite the tree there. And which is actually a great segue into my next question, which is what would you say is the most rewarding part of your role? And how do you measure success in your day-to-day work?
The most rewarding part are those two things: seeing our scores go up and the guests are being happy and satisfied, and seeing our team members grow. Now, some, they love their job, they're going to stay in their job all their life.
Mhm.
but it's seeing them, even though they do the same job, but that they're enjoying, that they're really part of the team and they care about pleasing the guests, or they really want to make sure when they do this maintenance task that they're doing it right. And you see that in them. I've been places and people do all different shortcuts, but when you see a team member who really is care about making sure they're doing it right, that it's truly fixed and not going to have somebody else fix it in 6 months or a year. So seeing your team members doing great, that's the most rewarding. And then there's another part of that question I forgot.
Yeah. So, how do you measure success in your day to day work? What does that look
Yep.
like?
So success in day-to-day work, I think that's seeing what you get accomplished day to day. You do a little bit here, a little bit there, but I walk around, I talk to the team, but I think you have to measure the success day to day in little increments. Okay, this guest is pleased.
Mhm.
We did this little project. And then overall, you're looking at it as it grows longer term. We have a lot of KPIs, whether it's the guest survey scores, our quality assurance program, where the brand standards, they come and check everything, or our team member survey scores. So there's a lot of measurements, and we measure and look at our water usage each month, our electric usage each month, our gas usage. How is it per occupied room? How is it per trends from last year? So there's a lot of different things they use to measure success. And so I think there's a lot of things that you can measure, and there's always going to be challenges. This industry, whether it's a pipe breaking or a guest being upset or something else going wrong, fire alarm going off and there's nothing happening, nothing there. It keeps things interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure that in your travels, you probably have some very interesting stories.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, now, this is arguably my favorite question, and I do always pose it to all of my guests because the sort of the purpose behind this podcast is to educate and inspire. And so, with that, I would ask you, Cliff, what advice would you give to an aspiring professional looking to excel in facilities and hospitality management?
I think the best advice is you got to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy people, you're not good in hospitality. If you don't enjoy working with your hands, you're not going to make it in facilities. So you got to enjoy what you do is the number one thing. But then keep informed on what else is happening in the industry. There's different newsletters, there's tons of stuff online, and being involved with people on LinkedIn. You may not know them personally, but they're in the same career. Maybe share ideas because you're going to excel when you take the initiatives to step forward, to step up, help out in different areas. It's important to take initiative and it's important to share your ideas. As I said, the best ideas come from the people doing the job. And the people who are sharing their ideas, they're going to get noticed by their manager and going to be the people that you're going to look to move up to the supervisor, move up from maintenance one to maintenance two to tech three. If you're just, I want to excel in this area, but I'm, really good at this, and you don't get a little bit out of your comfort zone to learn the next area, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
And so don't worry about stepping out of your comfort zone. If you don't know something, try it. And if you need help, ask. That's the only way you're going to learn. So many people say, oh, I don't know how to do that. Have somebody else do it. Some managers are going to say, no, I'm going to have them do it with you so you learn. Some managers aren't going to say that. And you need to take that initiative. I don't know how to do that, but I know John knows how to do that. Can I work with him so I can learn that? Too many people don't feel uncomfortable in asking to learn or trying to do something. And you can't. You got to step out of your comfort zone. I think that's the one of the most important things.
I absolutely agree. I am a living testament to you can teach an old dog new tricks. Cliff, it has been my great pleasure to have you as a guest today on Digital Dialogues. Thank you so much for joining me. All I can say is Maybe our paths will cross again. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
have you back as a guest. It has been my pleasure. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday and weekend, and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I really appreciate this session, and thank you very much. Hopefully, it helps somebody.
Yes.